In this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about push data objects. Push data objects are objects that you can send with your push notifications in React Native Expo using nativenotify.com. In the last video on push data objects, we showed how if you tap on the notification, you can switch between screens. So say instead of wanting to go to the home screen anytime the user taps on the notification, say you want it to go to a different screen, a specific screen. Well, in that video, we showed how to do that. That video should pop up right here. That's the first video on push data objects. In this video, we're going to show how to switch between URLs. Say you're using a web view in your Expo app. You can actually use push data objects to switch URLs within your web view. This video is going to show how to do that. Before we get started, if you like videos about React Native, Expo, Flutter, things like that, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon. We come out with a lot of videos on that all the time. We'll go ahead and get started. First thing to do, if you haven't already, is to go to nativenotify.com, click this sign up free button. It's free to sign up. There's no credit card required. That should take you to a page like this. If you haven't already, you'll want to click this create an app button. And for this video, we're going to be working with React Native Expo. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. You can come up here to update the title to whatever you want. I'm going to say data object tutorial. I'm not going to go through this start here guide again. If you'd like to, you can watch this video if you haven't set up notifications yet. It should pop up on the screen right over here. I've already done that, so I'm going to go ahead and go here to this send page. And in here, you'll notice there's a data object that you can send with your push notifications. In here, it shows the instructions on how to set up data objects in your push notifications. So your first step is to copy all of this and paste it into your terminal. Click enter. Okay, and that'll install the most up-to-date version of Native Notify. Next part is make sure you're importing this get push data object function. I'm already importing Native Notify. So I'm just going to come here. You'll see here's Native Notify, register Native Notify token. You can just put a comma there and put the get push data object function right there. And I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see what's going on. Okay, and it says to make sure you're using a hook function with your whatever function you're going to be using your get push data object in. It doesn't have to go in your app function. It can go in any function. For this example, it goes in the app function. Whatever function you put it inside of, this code here, you'll want to put it inside of it. It can go anywhere inside of it. I'm just going to put it right here, right under the register push token. So what this is going to do is this is going to get the push data object that we can send right here with our push notification. And then from that point, you can see the value of your push data object in a use effect function. So I'm going to go here to this use effects. One thing that's really important with push data objects, whatever function you use it in, if you're using use effect, you cannot do something like this, comma, whatever here. This has to be blank. This is really important because you need to be able to see the value of the push data object while the app's open. If you have something like this, what this is saying is only trigger use effect one time. Or if you have something in here, you'd say only trigger use effect whenever this value changes. But we need use effect to be available the whole time the app is open in order to get the push data object. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And I'll show you how I kind of have this set up. So if you know how hooks work, this is how hooks work. This is how you use state inside of a hook function. You go const, then you put brackets here, you put the name of your state here, and then this over here, the second value is what's used to change the value of this while the app's open. So right now in my function, I have a web view as my app. And what I'm saying is whenever this app opens up, start out showing nativenotify.com. But what I want to do is I want to set it up to where if a user taps on the push notification, it gets sent to another URL. What I want it to go to is this URL here. I'm just going to comment that out. I want it to go here whenever the user taps on the push notification. So let's go ahead and get this set up on Native Notify. First, I'll say test, title, test, message. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a push data object here. And I'm going to name it new URL. That's what I'm going to name this property. And I'm going to paste that new URL here. This is where I want the user to go. And I'll make this a little bigger too. So this is where I want the user to go when they tap on the push notification. So what I need to do is look for this value, new URL. Whenever the user taps on the push notification, the value of that push data object will appear here, like this, push data object.new URL. What I'm gonna say is if, so there's this function called if in that you can use to see if there's a property inside of an object. What I'm gonna say is if there is a property new URL in push data object, then do something. So what this is looking for is whenever the user taps on the notification, it's going to check, is there a new URL key inside of the push data object? If there is, if that's true, then do something. And what I want to do is update the URL that's currently being used inside of the web view. So what I want to say is if there is a new URL in this push data object, I'm going to say set URL. I'm going to change it. Oops. To, I'm going to come back here and copy what I want to change it to. I'm going to say change it to that. But we can actually make this a little bit more dynamic than putting it in there. Instead, since we put the value of it here in this push data object, we can just say set it to this. This should work. So we'll go ahead and test it out. So, but before I get started, again, I just want to explain what's going to happen is once the user taps on the notification, this push data object is going to appear in the use effect. And then it's going to check, is there a new URL property key in this object? If there is, then set the URL equal to this new URL. And what that should do is it should update the web view value here. It should change to this value here. So let's go ahead and try. I'm going to say Expo start to open my server. Next, you'll want to open up the Expo Go app. It's right there. It looks like that. You can find this on the App Store. If you're using Expo, I'm assuming you probably already downloaded this. You'll want to scan this code. Okay, and you'll notice, so this is my app. This is my web view app. And it opens up to nativenotify.com, just like I have it set to start out opening to this. What I want to happen is I'm wanting it to take the user to this page, this sign up page, whenever they tap on a notification. All right, and we'll see together if this works. I'm gonna click this send push notification. I'm going to tap on the notification and we'll see if it'll change where it goes. All right, it was just sent. Let's see if it appeared. Okay, there it is right there. All right, so let's see if it works. And there it went. It went to the new URL. So there you go. That's how you can change the URL of a web view using push data objects. If you have any questions about that, make sure to put the questions in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. If there's any video you'd like me to make, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to make any videos you'd like me to make. If you like this video, make sure to like this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.